Ми разом багато, і нас не подолати! Ми разом багато, і нас не подолати!
6 years ago, the images of Orange Revolution were seen by viewers all over the world. Hopes for the presidency of Viktor Yushchenko ran high, but in time fell short of popular expectations. His term in office saw weak economic growth and increase in tensions with Russia. On the positive side, the relations with the West improved and censorship all but disappeared. Newspapers and television channels were free of meddling high-ranking officials. Journalists became quickly accustomed to this good state of affairs. In February 2010, Viktor Yanukovich, the man who lost to Yushchenko in elections following the Orange Revolution, became the president of Ukraine. Soon after his inauguration, Ukrainian journalists came under mounting pressure to fall in line with the official view. During Yushchenko's term, there were no incidents of violence against journalists. Soon after Yanukovych came to power, there were several. Some of those were caught on camera. This is how the police attempted to prevent Sergei Kutrakov, a journalist from Ukraine's new channel, from reporting on a controversial photo exhibition. And this is the encounter of Sergei Andrushko, a cameraman from TV channels STB, with the presidential bodyguards. In both cases, Prosecutor General refused to investigate the excessive use of force by the state's employees. In August 2010, editor-in-chief of Kharkov newspaper New Style, Vasily Klementyev, an investigative journalist critical of local police, went missing and is presumed killed. In spite of promises by the President of Ukraine to personally see to it that there will be a swift and thorough investigation, more than a month later there has been no progress in the case. Independent news outlets have also come under pressure. The two television channels most critical of the government, Channel 5 and TBi, became targets of harassment by Ukraine's security service, an agency headed by Valery Khoroshkovsky, the man who is at the same time member of the Supreme Council of Justice, a judiciary body that appoints and dismisses judges. In a clear conflict of interest, Khoroshkovsky is also a media baron who owns 9 TV channels and controls 1/3 of the Ukrainian television market. In order to solidify a near monopolistic position of his media group, Khoroshkovsky has used his powerful government positions in his fight against smaller TV channels. In April 2010, television companies from Khoroshkovsky's media group filed a claim in court demanding to invalidate broadcast licenses of several TV channels. Lawyers for Khoroshkovsky's companies claimed that the licenses awarded to TBi, Channel 5 and other TV channels should be annulled because of procedural irregularities in the way they were awarded. In its defense, TBi asked that the court hears the testimony of the former members of National Council for Television and Radio who conducted the competition in order to establish the truth. The court refused. TBi also asked that Valery Khoroshkovsky be dismissed from his position as member of Supreme Council of Justice since he did not have the relevant experience for the job as required by law. Not long after that, a car was spotted tailing the managing director of TBi, Mykola Kняжицький. These are the men that spied on TBi's director and TBi's offices for several days. TBi's reporter confronted the undercover agents and filed a report with the police, but police declined to investigate.
Нам потрібні просто водії, можете нам сказати, будь ласка? Ну чому? Ну просто ви тут єдині водії.
Valery Khoroshkovsky continues to hold his position as a member of the Supreme Council of Justice. Appellate court in Kiev refused to hear the testimony of witnesses, and although TBi was not accused of any wrongdoing, the court ruled to strip TBi of all of its terrestrial broadcast rights in a verdict that contradicts the law. The newly appointed members of the National Council for Television and Radio were quick to rubber stamp the court's decision, but the legal uncertainties continue. Although TBi's access to its viewers has been limited, it continues to broadcast. The case of TBi has been widely covered by both Ukrainian and international media. Several international organizations, such as Reporters Without Borders, International Press Institute, and Transparency International, have voiced concerns and published statements and open letters in support of TBi. In contrast, the President of Ukraine, Viktor Yanukovich, continues to claim that freedom of speech is not restricted in any way in Ukraine.